This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
There he is, locked and loaded and ready to go. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
Feeling good, Got my second pickleball tournament coming up this weekend. I'm playing in that Miami Marine thing. It's going to have like 400 people in it, so I'm excited. I'm out here practicing day before. Off season, baby.
I got you. All right, that's good, man. And getting some exercise in, that's fun.
Yeah.
Like, it's at the Miami Marine Stadium?
Yep, it's at the Miami Marine Stadium. Outside, I guess they're going to put some courts
Like
out there.
In the parking lot or something? Is that what they're doing?
That's what they're doing. Yeah, it's going to be a big festival, a lot of food trucks and all kinds of different things. So it'll be an experience.
Yeah, dude. Man, that place brings so many memories. Because I went there for concerts, for boat races. I mean, there's so many things that I used to. I that was one of my favorite places to go see a concert. Miami
Beautiful
Marine
place,
Stadium.
man. Beautiful place.
Yeah, it was like a floating stage, and then everybody's watching, and then you got the bay behind you and the city line and all that. I wish they would fix that thing up again. By the way, it was a Cuban dude that designed that. Do you know that?
No, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yes,
I got to look
sir.
up the history.
You should look up the history. So,
What?
un señor cubano.
One of our people.
Designed it. Yes, one of our people actually designed it years ago, and so it's a shame that it's gone to waste like that, dude. Because it was such a great. I mean, I remember seeing from Molly Hatchet to Air Supply, bro. I mean,
Wow.
all kinds of concerts there I saw, man.
You must have some great photos somewhere, man, like in scrapbooks or something. I'm guessing you got a few photos.
There's got to be some photos somewhere of that, man. Yeah, going to see that. So first of all, what'd you think of the Saban news?
Obviously, huge news, surprising news. I don't think anybody really, at least among the recruits and the people around the program, were necessarily expecting. It's one of those things where you hear it for years, right? He's going to retire. He's 72. One of these years, he's going to stop. Considering how good Alabama was this year, and they kind of turned things around, it's kind of surprising, right? They make the playoffs. They lose to the national champion in overtime. You thought maybe, well, he's got another year in him, right? He's got Jalen Hurts coming back. So surprising, but, it's part of college football, man. It's a pretty credible 24-hour stretch between Saban, Belichick, and Pete Carroll. And Harbaugh, I'm guessing, is probably going to the NFL. So that'll be another college coach that ends up leaving.
It's interesting because I was talking about this, that you look at Saban and then you look at Belichick.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't know when to say when.
Right.
And, I watched Shula, down the stretch where, he lost it. Unfortunately, it wasn't, even though his worst years were still better than most of the guys that have come after him, by the way. That's the funny part. But, we watched Chuck Noll lose it. We watched Tom Landry lose it, and so I think Belichick's lost it.
Yeah.
I don't think whoever hires Belichick, I don't think it's going to be successful. I don't care where he goes. But I respect Saban on this. He knew this was the time. And I don't care what he says. He saw the NIL stuff. I can't see this guy kissing kids' asses for 3-4 years to keep them there the entire time. You don't only have to kiss their ass to recruit them. You have to then kiss their ass every month and keep them happy and all that shit. I think it got to a point where he said, this is too much. I'm done. Let me get out of here before it really gets ugly for me. Whereas I don't think Belichick sees the writing on the wall. Your thoughts on that?
No, I think those are great points. I think, for a guy like Saban, clearly he wasn't built for the professional game, and that's what college is becoming. It's becoming a professional game. You got to deal with agents. You got to deal with kids who, as you said, are sort of prima donnas now, right? They expect certain things. And I think for him, he picked the right time. He's accomplished everything you need to accomplish. He's the winningest coach in college football history in terms of championships. He's a legend, and I think this is the time for him to step away. I mean, there's really, with how much the sport is changing and how much you hear younger guys with more energy than him complaining about the crap that they have to deal with, you can see why at age 72 he still has his health. He still looks good. Let him enjoy life for a few years. Let him come down to a $17 million mansion here in Jupiter and enjoy retirement.
Yeah, and drive his wife crazy. Probably that's what's going to end up happening.
That's true.
I don't know if that guy I can retire, bro, and I can go to a bunch of concerts. I can follow my crypto passion, my dogs. I got things that I like outside of doing this. If I retired, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't know if that guy has anything. I don't know if I like Dennis Green, rest in peace, was a musician. I don't know if you knew
Right.
that he was a great drummer. Actually, he could drum and he would play jazz and stuff like that. And so that was kind of his other passion outside of football. And so you see that with some of these guys that they have passions outside of sports. What the hell is Saban gonna do, bro? Oh my God, that's
I
yeah,
guess a lot of fishing. I don't know what else he likes to do besides that. He likes to play some basketball. He's gonna need to bring some of his friends over, I guess, to do that.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's been married to this thing for a long time, and his passion is obviously coaching defense and winning and building incredible rosters. So yeah, I mean, that's the hard part for all of these guys. That's why Bear Bryant didn't last very long after he retired, right? I mean, kind of a broken heart, right? When you don't get to do what you love, and
Right.
so. Hopefully for Nick Saban, he's got a long. One thing he could end up doing, and I know we've been discussing this nationally, is, does college football need a commissioner, right? Do they need somebody to sort of take over and lead this sport to better places? Because right now, all the crap that you're dealing with an administrative type role, helping and change the sport of college football, would that be something Nick Saban maybe is interested in the years to come if we get to that point where college football decides, you know what, these NCAA rules, they're just not working. We need to branch off and sort of form our own league here. Would Saban be maybe the perfect first commissioner for college football? I think that's something that maybe he would be interested in because he does care about the overall health of the sport, and he does care about the game, and he wants to see it thrive. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him do that.
All right. The Canes got to recruit the kid from Albany. I get it.
Yep.
By the way, did that kid play for Antonio Brown in his Albany Arena League?
No, did
Oh, all
not.
right, just check it. Check it.
Yeah.
Because Antonio Brown probably still owes him money. No, but on a serious note, all right. So they did bring the kid in. Now, this was the kind of recruit that you brought in that you didn't say, this is the guy. You
Right.
said this is part of the competition. And you
Correct.
also said that there's a next wave coming after spring ball. There'll be unhappy quarterbacks that people like Nick Saban won't be able to keep happy and they'll lose. So that's why Nick Saban retired. So now there'll be options. So will Miami still go after that next wave? Yes or no?
I think it all depends on who becomes available. If there's somebody that they really think is good enough for it, is going to be an upgrade over Emory Williams and Jakari Brown and Reese Poffenbarger.
A starter.
Yeah,
Not
if there's a bona fide starter that becomes available for whatever reason, I think that's something that I think would interest the staff. I think right now they're trying to add other pieces. You mentioned the quarterback that they got on Tuesday. They picked up safety. Jason Taylor's son ended up coming over from Arizona. Not that he's got a great. He doesn't have a great track record. He's only started 3 games in 3 years at Arizona. So this is a guy who I think again is another depth piece. But you never know. Maybe he comes in here and he kills it and he just plays well. And then they got a kid from Marshall who played for Lance Guidry. I like this kid a little bit more. He's an edge rusher. He started 20 games at Marshall, so he's an experienced guy. You need more of those older guys. You saw Branson Dean had a positive effect on Miami's defense. A kid who was a 6th-year kid out of Purdue. This is another older player who I think will help Miami. So I
like that because Lance Guidry
right.
likes it. And Lance Guidry knows he can't bring a kid here to fail. So he knows he's bringing somebody that's going to add something to his team. So I don't even know anything about the kid, but just because he has a connection with the defensive coordinator, I kind of like his chances to be a contributor.
I'm with you, and I think that's huge. I think anytime you can bring guys who played in a system, it helps out tremendously, and that's gonna be a good thing for Miami next season. They need some veteran guys. There's gonna be young on defense.
He'll teach other guys.
Yeah, that's the whole point. He'll be there to teach the young edge rushers and to help them out and to get them in the right spots, etc.
Yeah. So I was wondering about that. So now that Ryan Williams, said no to Alabama now that Saban's out. So can he come to Miami?
They were recruiting him early in the process. He was a 2025 kid and then ultimately reclassified to 24. So he sped up his process. He's basically down to Texas, Alabama, and Auburn. His dad played at Auburn. So I think right now the likelihood is that he ends up at Auburn. But, ship sailed on Miami a while ago.
Okay. All right. What was that whole thing with the NIL penalties for FSU?
Basically the same type of mistake that Katie Meyer did with the Cavender twins, where she basically was the middleman between her and the collective, and that's what Alex Atkins, the offensive coordinator, did with Amarius Mims, the offensive tackle who just finished his career at Georgia and is entering the draft. Amarius Mims entered the transfer portal in the spring of 2022, was looking for another school, visited Florida State. And essentially what happened was Florida State connected him with a booster, which is a no-no. You're not allowed to do that. Obviously, in the modern day of college football, that happens all the time. Every school does this now. You basically have a money man that talks to prospective recruits. So the NCAA rules have to change eventually. But for right now, those are the rules in place, and Florida State got caught.
Okay. All right. What else are you working on besides your pickleball game or the Athletic?
I wrote 5 stories yesterday for The Athletic, man. I was a little busy yesterday working on a couple different pieces.
Come on. Oh, that's slacking. Come on.
I know. I wrote 5. I was a little busy yesterday. We have a piece coming out on Nick Saban's entire career, including his time here with the Dolphins. I caught up with Channing Crowder and a couple of other Dolphins players who played for Saban to talk about his time here. So I'm one of the writers on that story, just sort of about the path of Nick Saban all of these years, all the people he affected and touched, etc. So that'll be coming out. I just had a piece come out today with Grace Rayner on Alabama's class and their roster. The fact that they've got 30 days now to enter the transfer portal and find a new school if they want because of the head coaching change, what that means. And I had a mailbag that I did with some Canes questions in it, some Florida State questions, USF, UCF, the Gators. There's plenty to read on the Athletic website that I've been involved with.
And if you've never been in a media room with Manny Navarro, well, little do you know he's Cuban Jamaican, right?
That's right.
And he used to be on that skit with Living Color. Oh man, you wrote 5 articles. I wrote 7 articles before noon, man. I'm writing 5 more for lunch.
That's right.
So we know you from your Living Color days. All right, follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro and get your pickleball tips from him there. Manny, as always, have a great weekend, my brother. We will catch up next week. I appreciate you.
No problem. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, sir. There you go. And don't forget, use our code BIGO10 so you can get 10% off at caneswear.com. Or if you go personally to 2655 South University Drive in Davie, use our code BIGO10. You will get 10% off.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.